What's up, GameLeap? It's the Chisel, and if you want to know the champions trending in the right and wrong directions this patch, make sure to stick around for the whole video, and as we always do, for each pick you will get the best rune page and core items, and the video will also be timestamped, so smash that like button for more. So let's get into it and talk about the 8 winners for 11-19. Now the biggest winner for this patch, this is a mid laner, and this of course is Fizz, all because of that E buff, reducing it by 2 seconds at rank 5. This is massive for you Fizz players, and the fact that Riot reverted all the 11-18 changes that were a net nerf for Fizz, this is amazing for you sea urchins. This means that your ultimate is doing the same damage as before. The passive buff and the W buff that weren't really the best buffs in the world, these have gone, and Fizz is in a super strong position with his win rate increasing by over 2.5% so far in the last couple of days. Now in terms of one core item for Fizz, as you copy down the best rune page, I want to recommend to you guys running Leandri's Anguish as your mythic, and the reason is to exploit the cooldown you're getting now in your Playful Trickster. This is going to mean that in the mid to late game, your E is going to be on close to a 4-second cooldown. That's right, 4 seconds, which is completely bonkers. So if you're a mid laner, make sure you make use of Fizz this patch. Now the next champion who has benefited the second best from these changes, this is Renekton. And for Renekton this patch, there were 4 big buffs that came in, and these have seen Renekton's win rate improve by almost 2%. And for solo queue, this is amazing. So what's happened is your base HP is up by 15. The amount of HP you're getting per level is also up. Your W, the actual animation speed, is now 13% quicker, and the actual time you lock out yourself during the stun is lower as well. All of these buffs have enhanced your laning phase and trading potential. Just make sure that if you are playing Renekton, to use your abilities in tandem. The better you can combo with your Q, W, and E all in unison together, the better you are going to play and perform. Now another champion, guys, this patch who has improved in the win rate department by over 2%, especially in higher elo, this is Sejuani. And this is all because of the Q buff, which reduces cooldown by 2 seconds at rank 1, and his base damage also increased as well. Now Sejuani, even before this buff, was a seriously good pick and really consistent, just because you're always going to be useful. You have that CC, you have that tank scaling, and because in solo queue most people are going to pick assassins who don't really bring that much CC to the party, that's where you can really shine. Now another mid laner for this patch, guys, who has improved in the win rate department, this is Galio, with his win rate increasing by almost 1%, and what's happened is that your W's cooldown is decreasing with the more points you put in it, and because you're maxing your W second by level 13, when the mid game hits and you start fighting at dragons and barons, you're actually going to get more than 1 W off in each fight. Galio as well in solo queue brings you so much. Now he can get bullied by ranged mid laners, but even still he has amazing wave clear, durability, tankiness, setup, utility. It's almost like playing Sejuani just in the mid lane. You're always going to be useful because of that kit, so if there was a time to pick Galio, it's an 11-19. Now another top laner who's improved in 11-19, guys, because of the changes that came in, this is Aatrox, with his win rate increasing by almost 1%, and this is because your W's cooldown, get this, at rank 1 is 6 seconds lower. That's 6 seconds. That means that actually during the whole laning phase, you're going to be getting more Infernal Chains actually off, which gives you more opportunities to fight the enemy champion and actually kill them. I also thought before this patch that Aatrox was low-key broken with Gore Drinker, so in this patch, go and prove me right. Now we're going to stay in the top lane for this next pick, guys, because a champion similar in terms of the actual change that came in is Mordekaiser, and Mord's win rate has increased, just like Aatrox, by almost 1%, and the reason for this is because his E at rank 1 is decreasing in terms of cooldown by 4 seconds. Now it's not 6 seconds like Aatrox's. Alright, relax Aatrox, we get it. But this is still a great buff because you don't just use your E to pull champions into you, you also use it to push enemy champions away. So a jungle game, for example, a dive, this is insane because like the Aatrox buff, it's just giving you more opportunities to make plays and actually survive in the lane. Now the second to last winner, guys, of the 11-19 patch, this is Sylas. And what happened this patch for Sylas, even though he was actually good before this patch, is that your base mana has gone up by 30 and also your mana regen has gone up as well. This means that in terms of spamming spells, which is really what you're about, and comboing, you can do this more liberally, knowing you're not going to run out of the blue stuff. And in addition to the buffs from recent patches, Sylas actually finds himself in a great position with the W buff, the passive buff. If the enemy team has an amazing ultimate to steal and an AP mid laner, you could not go wrong by picking Sylas. Now the last champion, guys, who was improved in 11-19 because of the 11-19 changes, this is a bot laner but can also be played in the mid lane and as an AP carry in the bot lane. This is Seraphine, and obviously this is because of the ultimate change, so the fact it's on a 20-second lower cooldown for an ultimate as impactful as this is unreal. This means that from level 6 onwards in those dragon fights, those skirmishes in the river, then later in the game around Baron, you're getting more ultimates off and you can make more plays. You don't have to be so reliant to catch enemy champions out with your E anymore, you can just use your ultimate flat out. This has also seen Seraphine's win rate increase by 1%, and those are the big winners of 11-19. But what about the losers? Which champions have actually failed to improve this patch and And the first one of these is Soraka, with her win rate going down by almost 1%, but the funny thing is, it's still around 53%. She's that good. So there's no reason to stop picking her, and even though your ultimate's base heal is now down, okay, big deal, it's still ignoring Grievous wounds. So if one of your allies has Grievous wounds applied to them by an enemy champion, your ultimate ignores these. So it's still going to heal them for a ridiculous amount, and this is why Soraka's win rate is 53% still. So no reason to get upset. Now another bot lane we have to talk about this patch, this is Varus. And Varus's win rate has gone down by a similar amount, and this is all because his Q cooldown has been increased. Now if you're playing lethality Varus in particular, your Q is really everything. You play around this cooldown and it's your main form of damage, so having this on a higher cooldown at rank 5, and remember, you are maxing your Q, this is definitely detrimental. But the saving grace here is that because you go Duskblade or Draktar, the ability haste this gives you both straight up and via its mythic passive, this still gives you enough haste to play around, so it's not like Varus is falling off a cliff, it's just not as strong as he was. Now if we switch our attention to the mid lane here guys and talk about one champion who hasn't improved this patch from the MLB lane, this is Kiana. Now what happened this patch for Kiana is super interesting. So what Riot did is they made your E and Q combo more reliable, so on targets who are flashing or dashing away, especially out of vision, this is going to land more. Also they buff your damage to monsters, so this helps jungle Kiana, but please don't play this is pretty troll still. But even with this reliability change, it hasn't actually done anything for Kiana, and her win rate has gone down. Now no doubt this is because people are experimenting with Kiana in the jungle, and she still is good in the mid lane if you can actually play her, but until they fully revert this EQ combo targeting thing, whatever this is, Kiana isn't really going to be S tier until that actually happens. Now I've got one more champion to talk about guys for 11-19, and if you want us to keep making these videos where we fill you in on who the best and worst champions are from each patch because of the changes, let us know by smashing that like button down below. And the last champion, this is Ryze, and because of the two nerfs that came in, one to your actual AP scaling in your Q, and the last one to the cooldown in your E, this has seen Ryze's win rate decrease by over 1%. Now undoubtedly he will still get picked in pro player worlds, but in solo queue this is going to have more of an impact simply because Ryze isn't the best solo queue champion anyway, so having a nerf, this is just straight up bad. So those are the 8 winners and 4 losers guys of 11-19. Remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future daily uploads, and also make sure to check out the GameLeap website on your way out for all your League of Legends needs, champion courses, guides, bot analyses, videos on how to run it down when you're feeling really frustrated. I'm joking, we don't have that, but sign up anyway to actually improve as a player and to climb this season. Links in the description and comment section, and until tomorrow's upload, this has been the Cheers.